I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Most hiring managers don't shut up in job interviews, which means all you have to do in order to make a great impression is sit there and nod and smile. Let's get into it. My name's Anna Papalia, and I have worked with over 10,000 clients to teach them how to interview better. And before this, I was a director of talent acquisition. I have co-interviewed with thousands of hiring managers. Since 2011, I have been teaching job seekers and hiring managers how to interview better. And the one piece of advice I give hiring managers all the time is to talk less. You're telling the candidate too much. But as a job seeker, you can't control how much they're talking, and often there's nothing you can do except nod and smile. A lot of hiring managers conduct interviews like this. You'll come in, you might make some small talk, and they'll say, "Thank you so much for coming in. Tell us a little bit about yourself." And then they are going to start with, "So let me tell you about our department, and let me tell you about my career, and let me tell you about what we do here, and let me tell you about our future, and let me tell you about the company, and let me tell you about our mission, and let me tell you about our values." And if you're in a 45-minute interview, 30 minutes have already gone by. It's an absolutely lousy way to interview people. But if you're on the receiving end of this, it's pretty easy to make a great impression. Don't cut them off. Ask them interesting questions. Seem interested. If you're a pro and if you're a charmer like me, compliment them. Flatter them. They have egos, and if you are not above stroking them, go for it. If I was teaching you how to interview as a hiring manager, I would tell you not to do any of that stuff to prevent someone from charming their way into a job. But most hiring managers do it like this, so take advantage. Go for it. I'll let you in on a little secret. Most hiring managers don't shut up in the interview process. And in order to make a good impression, really all you have to do is sit there and nod and smile. My name's Anna Papalia, and I wrote the book Interviewology, The New Science of Interviewing. Did you know that 90% of hiring managers are never trained to interview? Often, they don't even ask you any questions. If sometimes they do ask you questions, half of those are inappropriate. Listen, I teach corporate hiring managers how to interview better, and I caution them against this. But for you, as a job seeker, you could use this to your benefit. I mean, if you don't really care where you work and you're just looking for a job, why don't you just go in and nod and smile and make them feel good and ask them questions? Because if that's all you want, if all you want is a job, then obviously if that's how they're interviewing, all they want is someone who's going to nod and smile, not rock the boat and just tell them what they want to hear and generally make them feel big and important. And that's easy to do in an interview. "Oh, really? Wow, that's so interesting. Oh, that's so insightful. Thank you so much for your time." It's that easy. Most hiring managers don't shut up in the interview process. My name's Anna Papalia. I wrote the book Interviewology, The New Science of Interviewing. I've conducted over 10,000 interviews. Most hiring managers conduct interviews like this. "Oh, thanks so much for coming in. Really appreciate it. Let me tell you a little bit about me, and let me tell you about the department, and let me tell you about the projects that you work on, and let me tell you about the clients that you might work with, and the team, and let me tell you about our mission and our values." And they don't ask you any questions about you, and they don't even leave time in the interview for you to ask questions. So all they're really looking for is someone to be agreeable. Is this a good thing? No. Is this how they should interview? No. But if they do, this is what you need to do. It's really simple. Nod and smile and be agreeable and make them feel important. Because ultimately, if they're interviewing like that, that's all they care about. Obviously, this doesn't work if you care about your career. It doesn't work if you are looking for the next opportunity where you are looking for specific projects and to be challenged. But if you just want a big fat paycheck, it works like a charm. If it were me, I would not be interested in that type of position. But if all you're looking for is money and a paycheck, then that's all you got to do. But if you're looking for a great opportunity, if you're looking for the right job, not just any job, and you come across a hiring manager who interviews like this, and you're really well prepared, and you go in and this is the type of interview you have, it's disappointing. It's disrespectful. It's a waste of your time. And quite frankly, a waste of theirs, because they're not really looking for great talent. They're just looking for someone to give orders to. If that's the case, it's a pretty good sign that they're not going into the interview process to look for someone who's technically capable and qualified and competent. They're looking for somebody who will take their orders. Reasons why you can't find a job in under a minute. If you've been applying to jobs and you can't even get scheduled interviews, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but your resume sucks. You need to rewrite it, change the template, and fix it. And once you do that, you need to be applying to lateral positions or positions that would be promotions. Don't even waste your time applying to jobs that are lower level. You're not going to get hired. Now, applying to jobs is a numbers game. The more you apply, the more likely you are to get scheduled. You need to apply to 10 to 15 jobs to get scheduled one interview. And it will increase your chances if you are an internal referral. That is always better. You are almost always guaranteed to get an interview if someone at the organization is referring you in. Now, let's say you get in the interview, you actually get scheduled an interview, then you bomb your interviews. Well, that's because you haven't prepared, you haven't done your research, and you don't know yourself. An interview in the most basic sense is just a set of questions about you. So if you want to nail your next job interview, you really have to understand who you are. For more tips on how to interview better, follow me. Get an Interviewology profile to discover your interview style, and you can also get my book, Interviewology: The New Science of Interviewing. Do not go to a job interview without getting these 3 questions answered first. Number 1, when a recruiter calls or emails to schedule you for a job interview, you absolutely have to ask, who will I be interviewing with? It is well within your rights to ask this question, and you have to know because you need to prepare. She may tell you Joe Smith from EVP of blah, 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 blah is going to interview you. Great. You then say, does he have a bio on your website? If not, could you send me his bio? You're going to read that. You're also going to go on LinkedIn and check him out, and you're going to Google this hiring manager. Perhaps there are articles written about him, or perhaps he wrote a white paper. You're going to read it, and you are going to go in prepared with great questions about this guy. Number 2, I know you probably read the job posting, but that's not an official job description. So you should absolutely ask them to send you the official job description ahead of your job interview so you can prepare great questions to ask. And lastly, this is very important. You don't really know who this person is in the interview process or what type of interview they're going to be conducting. So you should always ask, what type of interview will this be? Is this a screening round? Is this a hiring manager? Is this a technical interview? Because you will prepare differently for those. If this is a technical interview, you need to really bone up on your technical expertise and practice. If this is a screening round with an HR person, you need to be preparing and practicing some of those cultural questions and behavioral answers. You see what I'm saying? The way you're going to prepare really depends on the answers to these 3 questions. And if you're going into job interviews without asking anything, going in blind, you are not going to do very well. For more tips on how to interview better, follow me. Get an Interviewology profile to discover your interview style. It is a 40-page customized workbook that walks through everything that you need to nail your next job interview. At the end of the job interview, when they say, do you have any questions for us? Whatever you do not ask them these 10 questions. Number 10, what does this company do? Do not ask them this question because they're going to think that you're unprepared and unprofessional. You should have gone on the